Hi, welcome back to the vlog. So essentially, I do these videos I think at least twice a year simply because people ask me a lot of questions, and although they are usually the same ones I answer, I like to spice things up and make a video just to keep people updated because things do change as it goes on. And of course you'll know by now that I am talking about the University of Stirling. I am just about to finish my third year now, which is insane to think about because it was 2 years ago, a couple days ago I think, 2 years ago last week maybe, was when me and my friend Emer made the original channel before it was just my channel, which was in end of first year, which is insane to think about how far I've came as a person since then, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, it's insane to think about how much I've grown since then. I was watching the videos about the every day and I was like, wow. I put out a thing on my Instagram this week. I just said, hey, does anyone have any questions you wanted to ask? Throw them at me. I'll answer them later on in the week. People were asking me questions, but then my pals also made a good idea of saying advice that I would give to first year me. So I think instead of having a Q&A, because usually they are just me telling people things, this is more going to be and stuff that I wish that I'd told first year me now, if I could do that. That doesn't make any sense. One of the first things that I feel a lot of people look for when they go to uni, especially as a fresher when you're just out of high school. Obviously not all freshers are, but most freshers tend to be. But the nightlife. So the nightlife in Stirling is a lot different from places like Glasgow or Edinburgh when there's many a club, many a bar. Stirling has its fair share of bars, but club-wise it only has two, which is Dusk and Fubar. I know which one I prefer, and I'm just going to say it because it's all personal opinion, and I think most people my kind of group would agree with me, is that Fubar nights out are significantly more entertaining than Dusk nights out. Yeah, Fubar over Dusk pretty much any day, just out of personal preference. But yeah, so the whole thing with the two clubs as well is they're not on campus. This was something I actually don't think I realised in first year. I had thought that the Union was a club, not a club, but was a kind of more of a place than it actually is, I guess. I was pretty sure that you wouldn't need to leave campus for nightlife, but campus nightlife is not anywhere as good as going into town for nightlife. Stirling is a uni town. I think it's something stupid, someone once told me a third of people who live in Stirling are students, and you can tell anywhere you go in Stirling you're more likely to come across someone that's a student. One of the things that Stirling really has to offer, because someone asked me this actually, they said, what is there to do that's not nightlife in Stirling, if that makes sense? And that's something that I wouldn't have been able to probably answer that well this time last year, but now I can definitely tell you the walks. There's a lot of nice walks up to Demaya. I am still yet to do Demaya. I do not know why I've never got around to doing it. I think it's laziness rather than anything else. Laziness and a clash of just not wanting to do it when I could do it sort of thing. So there's a walk up to the Demaya which is really nice. Apparently. I wouldn't know, but apparently it's very nice. It's something that I'm planning on doing pretty much as soon as I get back to Stirling this year while the weather's still good. There's the Wallace Monument, which is nice to walk up to from the uni. There's a big hill you walk up to, it's class. I've never been in the monument itself, but the views around are so nice, and I actually saw a deer in the forest once because I walked up at 6 AM. But yeah, and then if you've got a car, there's always Loch Lomond's only an hour away. We've gone there quite a few times. It's nice to just kind of chill, wander about for a while, get your mind off things. And also Stirling is a campus uni, so the thing about Stirling that I feel sets it apart from other unis in Scotland is the fact the campus is trees. The campus is a big green space. And someone asked me what the beer gardens are like. Beer gardens in Stirling, I feel I've only been to one. I don't know if there is any more than, well, there will be more than one, but I can only think of the one, and that's Kilted Kangaroo, which, oh my god, I would die for Kilted. Kilted is so nice in the summer. They've got a wee back patio bit you can sit at, and they do quite good food actually. Me, Rory and Chris got a really nice sharing platter thing there last year, and it was so chef's kiss. It was insane. So Kilted is definitely one of the bars I'd recommend to check out. There's Tingle, which is a shop bar. They've got a sister one in Glasgow. But Tingle's quite good. It's quite cheap for a night out. But yeah, there's the classic spoons, Weatherspoons, cheap pints, cheap pictures. There's a Brewdog, which we've gone to a few times, but I don't really like beer, so it's not my kind of place. It's just not something I'd thrive in. In terms of like other things to do in Stirling, like alongside the beer gardens, the walks, there's a really nice park in Stirling town. It's like a 5-10 minute walk from the centre, but it's a big field essentially called Kings Park. It's got like a wee play park and a skate park. We don't use the play park or skate park, but the boys are really big frisbee fans. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll usually find there's a frisbee getting thrown around somewhere for no apparent reason. Sometimes in my car, even though it's not obviously a field. But anyway, I don't go as much as the boys do, but they go down to Kings Park and they either take a football or they take a frisbee and they chuck it around. And to be fair, we did it a lot last year, having a couple of picnics, and it was really nice. Someone asked me what the transport from Stirling Uni into town is like, and what the transport from town into uni is like. This is something I feel like I can't comment 100% on because I have my own car. And just out of ease, I tend to drive from town into campus. Just so I don't need to wait on bus. Now we always car share anyway, so it kind of saves a couple of us the hassle. From what I remember the buses being like, is that they were pretty unreliable, but sometimes you'll get 3 come at once when you've been waiting 20 minutes. They can be very hit and miss. There is a new bus link that had got built kind of inside the uni, which made it apparently a bit more reliable. Like I said, I don't really get it, so I can't really comment. And I don't know, I think if you forget your student card as well, the bus can be a bit pricey, because you get student rates, but it's like a £5, I think, if you forget your bus. If you forget your student card to get in and back from town, maybe? Anyway, I don't know the exact specifics. I'm not the person to ask about the buses, but from what I remember, they were nice buses, but they weren't the most frequent, and they weren't really the most on time. Also, in the same scheme of things, if you don't want to get the bus, like if you don't want to wait in the bus, I say this a lot in this video, I have never personally done this, but there is like a bike system at the uni, and it's sort of set up around Stirling, where I'm pretty sure students either get it for free or they get a discounted price maybe, where you can sign up and you take a bike from like just these bike racks kind of scattered around like Stirling and the uni, and then you can cycle it around. And then you can put it back in like a hold in the town, for example, if you don't have your own bike, which I've heard good things about it. I do not think any of my friends have used it because the ones who cycle have their own bikes. Is it student friendly? Yes. They didn't say what, so I'm going to assume they meant the town because I want to assume the campus obviously is student friendly. The town is very student friendly. I would say it is mostly students. There's a lot of specific places to go in town where you will find it to be a higher percentage of students. There's a couple of coffee shops and a couple of small like cafes and stuff that you know if you go in there you're likely to see someone you know because of the student population in Stirling, which is kind of nice and kind of, it's a bit hit and miss sometimes, but it's nice enough as it is. Someone actually gave me a very vague question and just said, what is your main bit of advice for someone coming to the campus in September? And you know something, I actually don't have one main bit of advice because I feel like there's a lot of things that I didn't do which maybe would give me some advice to tell you, but like, I don't know. But get to know your flatmates, don't ignore your flatmates. I didn't avoid them, I did not hang around with my flatmates in my first kind of week at uni, and while like they didn't really change anything, there's a lot of times I'm like, oh, I wish I'd had these memories that they used to joke about in the first week, because you don't realise how quickly those first weeks go, because we were looking through our photos recently and it was like 2 weeks into uni were these clips of us doing things and I was like, oh my god, we were so close like 2 weeks in. So I'd really recommend, just if you're staying on a campus, just getting to know your flatmates, because they're the people you live with for the whole year. Whether or not you bicker about the dishes or you bicker about noise, it doesn't really matter, you're going to be seeing them every single day. So you might as well just get used to hanging out with them. And on that note, I'd also recommend like going in with an open mind, because I know for a fact that I kind of went in with a bit of a closed mind when I saw my flat. I was like, oh my god, I'm not going to get along with any of these people, and now they've turned out to be like some of my bestest friends in the world. So judgmental Kirsty lost that round. But I love my flatmates. I feel like you form a bond. In my case, we formed a bond with people who we lived with. We may not all be as close as we were in first year, but we're all still quite friendly with each other, and it's just nice. My good friend Holly threw a question into the mix that I actually was kind of intrigued by, and it was, what would I study if I hadn't studied law? And I have thought long and hard about this, because a lot of people who know me, who I've had these conversations with, I'm quite open about it, I'm quite vocal about it now. I've said it in a couple of other videos, is that I study law but I do not want to do law after uni. I don't mind it, like I've enjoyed it, like mostly. I just don't think it's a career. I thought for the longest time it was a career that I would enjoy, and the more I've got into it, I'm like, it's a nice career, but I don't want to be a lawyer. I don't want to be a solicitor. I just don't think I would thrive in that environment, and that's fine with me. Like, that's just something I've came to terms with. But it does always leave you with the whole thing like, oh, I wish I'd done a different degree then if I don't want to do law. But so I think in terms to, I've gone on a tangent there. I think in terms of like what degree I would have done had I not like done law, is probably something along the marketing side. I'm quite social media heavy, as a lot of people know. I'm quite on it all the time, especially TikTok. That's a whole other story. I can't talk about TikTok right now. I just can't do that to myself. But I am very social media heavy. Do I wish I'd done a degree in it? Maybe, but it is what it is. Oh, that was a horrible impression of that TikTok. I really don't know what I was trying to achieve there. What do I want to do after I graduate? I don't know. Can first years take a car on campus? The uni says no. That is the uni's flat out answer that they gave us in first year. They said first years cannot take a car on campus. It is reserved for second years, third years, fourth years, and people who travel in. However, and I don't think this is the case for everyone, so I think it's very case by case circumstance. But if you need your car and you're a first year, if you have a reason you really need it, I know someone who needed it to work, and if she couldn't work, she couldn't pay accommodation. The uni were like, right, okay, we'll make an exception. So I think if you contact the uni and you have a reason that they think is good enough, they'll see what they can do. They're not going to leave you like broken, defenceless, with a car nowhere to put. Fitness wise, what is there to do in Stirling? Well, in Stirling town itself, there's a gym that's near my work. I don't know what it's called. There you go. And there's probably other gyms, but the other one I can think of is Pure Gym. Pure Gym is obviously quite a popular UK gym-wide company. I had a 1 month membership there. I enjoyed it, but I didn't get enough use out of it because we all know I'm unfit. And I didn't go often enough to warrant the membership. But yeah, Neve, my pal Neve, swears by Pure Gym, loves it to pieces. I've got a friend who swears by the uni gym. If you join a sports team, you have to pay the uni gym membership, which is something I also didn't realise in first year. So you have to pay the sports union membership, your club membership, and then your gym membership. So it does add up, which is something I did not know because I did not look into it. But it does add up. But you get full use of the uni's like gym and stuff, which is currently undergoing a really big renovation, which is due to be done soon. But I don't know if work's slowed on it because of Corona or not. But anyway, someone asked me, how cold is the lake? Why would I know that? And I don't know why she would thought I would know that. But now I kind of want to know. Anyway, moving on. How big is the number of international students compared to Scottish students? Now, I'm pretty sure, and don't quote me on this because I'm not smart. I didn't mean to say not smart, but you know, if the shoe fits. Anyway, I think it is 20% of students that go to Stirling are international students. I don't think that counts English and Welsh or Northern Irish. I don't think it does. But I know 20% definitely are students that come from abroad and overseas. So there is quite a big population of international students in Stirling. Nav in my work, for example, she's from Italy. There's another girl in my work who's from Poland. I know a girl who's from Sweden. People from America. It's all over. It's nice. It's fun. Living our best lives, as they say. Here's one that I actually really like to answer, and it's, to join one of the sports clubs, do you need to have played before? From my experience, the sports clubs that I have friends in, sports clubs that I have joined or am joining, I know that you do not need to have had experience. For example, hockey has, I think, 5 teams, where it's like people who've never played before can go wherever they feel fit. People who are really good players will go in the ones. It's frisbee, they don't care if you've never thrown a frisbee in your life. It's very a welcoming environment in Stirling. Everyone is willing to teach you. People are wanting to show their sports off, and you don't need to have played. How far away from the uni is the closest grocery store? There's a Nisa on campus, which is like a corner store, but the one thing I will say is that it's a little bit more expensive and you're not going to get everything you need there. It's for like the really basics, essentials, and then some random bits and bobs as well. The closest store would be Tesco, I think, which is about, it's just in town, so it's like a 10-minute bus journey maybe from the uni, 10-15 minutes. You'd get the bus from uni to about Douglas Street kind of area, then you just hop over to Tesco, so it's not far. You could walk it would take about 40 minutes, I'd say. But if you're doing a big shop, you'd probably just want to get a bus. But yeah, it's not far. It isn't on campus, the main grocery stores, but it's worth the trip. But also, they will deliver to campus. If you and your flatmates all want to put a big shop in online because you can't be bothered to go to Tesco, they'll bring it to you and you can all just split the cost. We did that a lot in first year. It just made life so much easier. Like if someone was like, oh, I need to do a shop, you'd send a message in the chat like anyone else need anything, and then by then you'd have enough to fill a basket. So what modules did you take? Optional. Coming to do LLB in September, hopefully. So I did my optional. So first year you don't pick any optional modules. It was contract law. What was it? It was contract law, criminal law, evidence, family law. I feel like there was another one. Oh yeah, delict. I had blocked delict from my mind. Oh my god. So there was contract law, delict law, family law, evidence, and criminal law. In first year, they're modules you have to take. Second year, you take property and trusts with succession. And then you take commercial, but you also get to pick 2 modules. They're not law modules though. This is something I had not realised until I got to second year. You can pick from a whole list of modules. People picked biology, people picked agriculture. I picked psychology because everyone I knew did it and it was a very easy module. And then I also picked a work and employment thing, like a HR thing, just because I knew other people doing it. And I thought, oh, that sounded fun. Third year is when the real fun starts. Third and fourth year, you have free reign. You get a list of things and you pick them. So third year, my subjects in the first semester, like last semester, was intellectual property law, energy law, and research methods, which is the one you have to do, that's a compulsory module. This semester I've done jurisprudence, which is a compulsory module, media law, which is my favourite subject on the planet, and international mergers and acquisitions, which is a mouthful, and it is a mouthful of a subject anyway. It is a long subject. Is it easy to find a job for students? How did you find it? So I was lucky in the sense that I had worked at Domino's Pizza in Ayr for a couple of years since I turned 16 when I went to uni, and then I applied for the Domino's in Stirling, got it straight away because my experience, I guess, and I worked there. Don't have much to say about my time at Domino's. I liked the people, I didn't like the job. And I didn't stay there. I haven't stayed there the entire time I've been at uni. And I now work at Pizza Hut, which sounds a bit like a, I don't know what the term is. It sounds like I'm a traitor. I don't feel like a traitor, but it does look like I am. But I find it particularly easy to get a job, but I think that's because I had very specific experience. But other people I know have managed to get jobs with no experience. So it really just is about your CV, it is about right time, right place. It just depends. There's a lot of coffee shops, you can get jobs in the supermarkets, there's quite a few other bits and bobs. You can get jobs in the union and stuff actually as well, which people overlook, but you can get jobs like at NISA and stuff as well, so always just give that a shot. I do think if you try, you will find a job, but it is just hit and miss, it just depends sometimes. Are students satisfied with their courses? I think everyone I know likes their course. I don't think anyone I know has ever said to me that their courses doesn't satisfy them, so I think that's, from my opinion, from what I've heard, people like their courses. The last question I'm going to answer here, someone sent me a question that I've not really ever thought of, and it was, would you return to Stirling to do a postgraduate masters? My answer is no, because I don't have any interest at the moment of doing a postgraduate masters, not just at Stirling but anywhere. I don't think that another year of education is going to get me anything. But at the same time, there has been 1 or 2 courses that Stirling don't offer elsewhere that I've seen that I'm like, could be appealing, but I don't personally think that I will do a master's or a postgraduate. But at the moment, there's nothing there for me, I think, that I would want to do, unless there's a course on how to become CEO of Disney World, then I'm not interested. That's a joke, that's a bad joke. But yeah, you get the gist. This has just been a video talking about the uni. I'll throw some links into some of the other uni YouTubers below, like Harley Hook and Evie Sue. Love them both to pieces. I feel like it has been a journey these past 3 years, and it's weird to think that it's all come to an end like next year. I didn't even think about that. I'm over halfway through. I'm almost 75% done. I just need to do my exams and that's me done 3rd year. Oh, woe is me. I'm growing up so fast. I'm growing up so fast. If you have any questions, you can always shoot me a message. Like I said, there is things I find it hard to answer if I don't know. I will try and find you an answer. I will ask around people who I think might have an answer. Just hit me up on my Instagram if you need anything. That tends to be the place I'll reply the quickest to, I guess. But yeah, so thank you for watching this video. This has been one of my Uni of Stirling videos, one of my 900 ones that get put up every year. Like, comment, subscribe. I love saying that. Let me know what you thought, if you've got any more questions, and if I ever make another one I'll throw it in there. I'll just reply to your message straight away anyway. But yeah, so I will see you later.